Greetings, friends! It's Denise again with Denise's Dancing Paintbrush and another collage. This little boy had a real cute expression. He had his chin on his hand. So I got to draw both the face, the expression, and the hand, which, adds a little extra element, extra challenge for me. So as always, I start with the background. And again, I chose a light tan, not a bright yellow like, I have on some, but the tan still gives a warm feel. And you can see I've already added a few little pictures. Got a little girl over there on the left, and I'm going to stick an owl up here on the upper right, as well as a little cat in shadow. I found that among my photos, that I've been using my actual old photos that I wanted to get rid of in some of my collages. You see the photo that's there on the far right. It's just a cat in the sun. And then on this one, I'm starting with the highlights on the face and very gently turning into the shadowed area, which the shadows on his face will be mostly in orange and burnt orange. You can barely see it, but on the left-hand side in the background is a drawing of a camel with, I don't remember, a bird on, there's a girl beside it and something on the camel's back. But I just thought it was cute and it blended in so well with the background I couldn't help but use it. I think that's got to be my favorite part of doing these collages. Excuse me, that I get to incorporate hidden pictures into the picture, as well as a few words and things I feel appropriate. Finding just the right value for the shadows on a face is a real challenge. You don't want black really, but you do want deep shadows. So you can see I was messing with a calendar in a couple of places that had some really deep maroon type colors. And I decided the maroon was really working for the shadows on this against the orange. Yeah. I use anything that's got a good heavy quality paper and a slight sheen to it. Doesn't have to be glossy, but the matte is just doesn't cut it. Doesn't work real well. So it has to have a semi-gloss or a gloss finish. His lips are slightly misshapen because he's got his chin in his hand and it's moving the skin over to one side ever so slightly. That adds the challenge to this. He's not perfectly symmetrical. since the light is coming from the right side of the picture, shining on the left side of his face, I have to have the whole right side, or left side, excuse me, in shadow, including his arm and his sleeve, his the upper part of his hand where the face is casting a shadow across it. It's what gives the illusion of 3 dimensions, to have all the correct values, the lights and the darks, in just the right places. Now sometimes I will do the eyes ahead of time, but in this case I went ahead and I glued the eyes directly onto the drawing without cutting out a surrounding outline. You see the bear photo there? That's the photo I took at the zoo. I'm using it in his hair. And also for, you know, the outline there across the top of the eyelids. You know, sometimes I'll cut this little tiny black spot for the pupil and then drop it and can't find it for the life of me and have to cut another one out. I am so annoyed when that happens, but it happens more often than not when I'm working with very tiny pieces of paper. So I have to hold on to them. To cut very carefully, not to have them flip out of my hand and float to the floor and who knows where. Unhappily, my floor is often covered with little bits and pieces of paper. So this has been an interesting week. I actually finished this collage last week, and I'm putting the video portion of it together and editing it this week, because this week I was busy, very busy with jury duty. I was picked, I was on the panel, I had to spend 5 days listening to all sorts of testimonies, and it was a really hard, really emotional case for me. I found it very difficult, and I am very glad that that's over with. So I can get back to something pleasant, like artwork. But let's face it, it is our, civic duty, and if I were ever in trouble, I would want some very nice people to serve as my jurors. And so here he is. He's all finished. The little boy with the chin on his hand. I do think that the, at least the lower eyelids, the outline is a little too dark. It probably should be lighter. catching the light the way the lower eyelids would be. Yeah, now it looks cartoonish, like it was just outlined. Didn't mean it for it to look quite that harsh. Thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate all of my followers, and do give me a thumbs up if you liked this video, and let me know what you're interested in. I'd love to hear about it. Bye everyone. See you next time.